Hey guys, LightningBolt here, and welcome to the training and teaching version of LightningBolt vs NL and Dez. After the last video, I got many comments about how the kills and stories were great, but some people also wanted to know how I got them. That is the purpose of this video. I gave a few tips the last time, but in this video I hope to give a more detailed explanation as to the how of each kill. The clips and format will all be the same as the last video, and while I'm not a perfect teacher, I will do my best in the time I have allotted in this video. So whether you want to learn or be entertained, this video is right for you. Enjoy! This first kill is rather simple. I kept my speed up the whole time as I was only going to be able to make one pass. I led the target, and though I didn't see the bullets hit exactly, I was rewarded to see the effect. In this video, I locked onto my target right away. As he turned in, I was worried we would be in a turning fight I couldn't win. He made the fatal error of turning back in and pulling up though. That was the best thing that could happen to me. I cut throttle briefly so I wouldn't overshoot and unloaded the lead. Now in these battles, there is so much going on I couldn't possibly tell you all that runs through my mind. What you will see here is a mistake that did cost me in the end, though I ultimately did benefit from it. In my dive, I chopped throttle, which eliminated my only safeguard of speed to run away if the Zero started a turn fight, which he did. What I did get in that time were two Zeros who accidentally flew in front of me, willingly or non-willingly, and they did learn a lesson in the end. As did I. Now in the last video, I did give some details on how Leppy and I ended up alone in this scissors fight in the midst of all these people. I won't explain that all again. Looking at the German 109E, myself, and the P40C comparatively, the P40 has better firepower and speed, though my plane is lighter and I believe can roll slightly better. The fact that I did not pack cannons in this 109 also makes me lighter yet. Now, a scissors fight is very hard to explain how to do. One tip though is to make sure at the points where you don't need extra speed, such as at the top of a roll, you don't give yourself more. Thus I lowered my throttle during those points. Remember, the goal is to stay behind the enemy, so you need to be slow enough to do this without stalling. The best way to learn is to practice yourself, and know your aircraft's strengths and weaknesses. Also, when you can, make sure you use your rudder, as it helps you turn and roll better. I myself have not mastered this technique quite yet, though it didn't seem to harm me too much here. Now we move to Battle Britain. This kill is very straightforward. I noticed a Spitfire who needed help, so I came in as fast as I could to do so. Hartman was smart and broke off of the Spitfire, because staying on my friend would also have been certain death for him. In this engagement, I did not have to worry about turning since the Spitfire does rain in that area. Besides aiming, I just had to counteract when Hartman cut his throttle by cutting my own throttle so that way I could get the kill before overshooting. This is another rather simple kill. As you will see, many kills really just involve a few steps. First, find your enemy and make sure you know what aircraft it is so you can assess your own strengths compared to it. Then, just act on those strengths. In this case, mine was turning, and aim well enough so that you can follow through with the kill. Once again, it was just a simple game of rolling and staying behind. I did have to cut throttle at one point though, as it seemed like he was going to try and force an overshoot. Then I increased throttle so that way I could stay behind him, and then got the kill. As you can see, I attempted to save Swallow from Dez, which he did not succeed in doing soon enough. After I got on blue, he used the one option he had against me to get a quick reversal, and that was to cut throttle and force an overshoot. Instead of letting him get away with that though, I decided to reveal the power of the propeller. While I don't always recommend doing that, as it most often results in your own death, it should be okay if necessary, such as in a case of no ammo, or inevitable, as in this case. I have only used it successfully in the Spitfire and Yak 9 though. During these next kills, I will talk less about how I got each one, and instead on the differences of the P39 compared to the A6M30 and the Ki-61 Hein. First of all, the P39 is small, turns well, and packs a big punch with its 37mm cannon. In comparison to the Zero, it can turn roughly the same when the P39 keeps up its own speed, and the Zero is also at a high speed. The P39 would not survive in an extended turn fight against the Zero though, as the Zero can turn better at lower speeds than a P39 can. That is why many times you will see me do one pass and then extend to some degree. Now, against the Ki-61 Hein, it is a different story. The P-39 can definitely outturn the Hein. The Hein has better speed. While the P-39 and Hein can be similarly compared to the Spitfire vs. 109 matchup, the Hein has more advantages against the 39 than the 109 did against the Spitfire. First of all, it has stronger ammo, which is deadly against the P-39. It also has better speed, which is why most Heins are very good at boom and zoom tactics. Finally, the Hein slows down much faster than a 39 does when the throttle is cut. While this may not seem like an advantage at first, it is one that Dawn smartly attempted to use in our fight at the very beginning of the video and in one coming up. Because of the fast deceleration, P-39 pilots always must be ready to cut their own throttle when in a dogfight, or risk an overshoot and possibly being shot down. In the clips you will see, I was prepared for it ahead of time, so that particular fate did not befall me, though it always pays to be aware of that tactic. Now, I have one more thing to point out about these kind of dogfights. You always want to have the altitude advantage or equal altitude with the enemy, no matter what plane you are in. Let me explain why I say this. Let's suppose we had a P-39 and a Zero at equal altitude starting a dogfight. Who would most likely win? Probably the Zero, because if the 39 begins a turn fight, a smart Zero will eventually outturn him. If the 39 extends, he probably won't get shot, but he will have the Zero behind him nevertheless. The situation would be the same with the 39 against the Hein, except that the 39 would take the Zero's place with better maneuverability. So what is my point in this illustration? It's simply that, when at equal altitudes and energy states, the plane that can turn better will most often win. That is why, upon takeoff, both aircraft need to climb. The faster aircraft's advantage is in altitude, energy, and boom and zoom tactics, which the slower plane can only counter and hope that the faster one messes up. If the slower plane reaches the altitude of the faster plane or even above that altitude, he eliminates much of the advantage and offensive capabilities of the faster plane. Thus, a faster plane's security is in altitude, and a slower plane's extra advantage and possible success is eliminating the extra altitude of the faster plane. I hope that all made sense and gave you some tips you can use in the future. You will see that the rest of the kills are basically just applying the principle of watching my speed and energy, as well as just good aiming. As I close, I want to focus on the 3 things you need to be a good dogfighter. They are knowledge, ability to act on that knowledge, and experience. Knowledge is composed of knowing the correct tactics, capabilities of your aircraft, and knowing what correct to do in each situation. Basically, everything I just explained in this video. Next, you need to be able to act on that knowledge. This involves quick thinking and decision making. If you have the knowledge but lack the willpower or guts to act on it, it won't get you anywhere. Finally, you just need experience. I consider this probably the most important. You can learn through your mistakes and successes, so don't get discouraged if you fail right away. Get back up there and be willing to try again. Believe me, I've been playing for just over a year and a half, and I've been shot down numerous times. Because I wanted to learn, I did get back up and tried again, even if it seemed too hard. That is a sign of growth and maturity, the willingness to learn from your mistakes and try again. I am no perfect pilot, but I believe I can hold my own among some of the best because of practice. You can too if you work hard and, most importantly, enjoy what you are doing. Give glory to God in everything. I'm LightningBolt, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.